Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Omnan, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
You're who again?
I'm Amnon.
Amnon. All right. Well, welcome. Hello. How are you?
Good morning. Anik is here.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. And Mike is here.
I've never understood, if you're going to be Amnon for the next 2 hours, who are you going to be after that?
I'll decide at the end of the show, and we can have a conference, and it'll be.
You might
fine.
become a female at the end of the show. You never know.
I was listening.
You can identify as whoever you want. You'll get the call from your handler to tell you who you'll be.
Okay. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. When I was sitting here preparing, Computers 2K Now was on, and I heard Mike saying, "Why should I call you Joe somebody else?" I mean, like somebody. I can't remember. Why should I call you Joe, Mike? Do you remember you said something like this to Gary or something?
No, I don't. Once it's out of my mouth, it's gone forever.
Huh. Gown. So
Can we call you Al?
Daryl.
We can all be Daryl. That'd be fun.
That's right. I'm Daryl. This is my
Daryl.
Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
So, what's going on?
Not much.
That's why we're here. See, for you to tell us.
Beautiful down here. It's beautiful down here on the coast. Very nice. Past couple of days have been really nice.
It's cold up north.
Oh man.
Yeah, New York City was 30 degrees this morning.
Yeah, it's been chilly up there, but it's beautiful down here. Or at least it was. I don't know if it still is.
Yesterday at Walmart, we're checking out, and the lady at the counter, I don't know how this came up. She was from the Hudson Valley, actually working for IBM. I know what it was. Pam and I were both wearing green T-shirts because of St. Patrick's Day.
Of course.
And Pam says to the lady, talking about, she says, "I wish I had my shirt because I'm Irish." So she said, "Well, do you have to have an IBM shirt, Irish by marriage?" And the lady goes, "Oh, I used to work for IBM." So we went on the whole thing about the Hudson Valley, and they moved down here, and comparing. No, she worked in Fishkill, and
oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
one of those.
Everybody works for IBM.
One of those that raised our taxes, huh?
What about taxes?
She's one of those that raised our taxes.
Oh, she's been here since '94.
Oh,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, but once a Yankee, always a Yankee.
That's it.
Okay, hey, stop with that nonsense.
Come down here and put us into tax bondage just like they did themselves.
Well, if your starting point for taxes is 3 times what we're paying here, then it's no problem to raise taxes, because to you, it's, hey, this is a bargain.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, well.
Yeah, oh, well. So
I was happy to hear that what you said about the AMD exploit, the Ryzen exploit, was not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Well, what are we talking about?
Well, there was a story came out saying that the Ryzen processors had some built-in backdoors and microcode errors, backdoors that were being exposed by an Israeli company. So Amnon, you were saying, oh, Nick, you found it, right? About the
It was actually Sean that found
stock manipulation.
it.
and all that
Yes.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
it's so weird. So this is, I think it was an Israeli research company came out with this, published the report without first contacting AMD, which is the first no when you find like, oh, hey, you've got a, like when Intel was contacted about, what was the name of their Skyfall? Is that the name of their thing? Whatever that thing they had a couple months ago, that huge exploit that they had. Intel was contacted first. They were aware, and then the research firm takes it public.
Spectre.
Spectre, yes, thank you.
It's a James Bond title.
It's Skyfall, Spectre, it's all the same. So they were contacted first, confirmed the thing, and then the research company or whoever decided to take it public. But this Israeli company just decided to publish that AMD had this very similar exploit that made all of the Ryzen chips. They had all these back doors. And then through process of elimination, it turns out that it's all BS, and that AMD stock took went to the dumps after this thing was released. So now there's the question of stock manipulation, and
all you got to do is look to see who purchased a lot of stock when it was down.
Yeah. So it's interesting and incredibly, I don't know what the word to use is, but just incredibly inappropriate to be publishing something like, and I guess it's not illegal technically. I don't know how that works with foreign entities publishing articles that affect the U.S. market. I don't know how that all works.
Oh,
But
the UN is all over it.
oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they're running their little
send the white
hats
vans in there, and they're going to take care of it.
Yeah, they're
I
little-
feel better now.
Their helmets will solve all of our problems. So yeah, that was that's pretty interesting.
I listened to Security Now, and
sorry.
they were all in. This was like, oh, the disaster at AMD and all this stuff, and they didn't spend the whole show talking about it, but it was like the headline: AMD's done. It's over. This is going to kill the company, and
this sets a very dangerous precedent. That, I mean, all you've got to do is make up some nonsense, and
I mean, like fake news.
well, I think this is worse than fake news. I think. I mean, it's just
the same thing. It's
well,
all
it
for
isn't.
Well,
purpose.
it is fake news, but it's worse because it is A, for what purpose, and B, it really hurts the company. Thank God that they found out soon enough and it came out, but it's what do you call it? Flawed reporting. Okay.
Yeah.
Fake news.
No, it's
you know
fake news.
something?
Yeah.
It's almost to the point now where it's good that this stuff is happening and it gets high profile, because people are, according to polls, people are starting to realize and get tuned into the fact that there's so much fake. Look at what's happening with Facebook now. Zuckerberg is going to testify in front of the Senate about manipulation.
And nuts.
Not that most people pay attention to what happens in the Senate.
Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because he's now turned into like, obviously this he turned in from like the greatest thing ever in social media to now being like, oh, if you want to buy ads, you've got to what is it? You have to be registered with the post office or something like that. I don't know what their new threshold is, but something with the post office or a mailing address or something like that.
Facebook is they're vulnerable. They're under attack because they are the number one violator of their own policies.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're vulnerable over it, and they're trying to it's like the murderer who comes back advocating for gun control.
Their demographic is the fastest growing segment of Facebook is people over 50. So they can't, that's not helping them because we're part of a group that nobody wants to market to because we've pretty much made our decisions. There's no, you can't influence
Yeah, that's not true.
our, well, no, I mean, think about it from the point of view of brand recognition, things that you like.
I understand, Spence, but we're the only ones who have any money. The problem is we're not as gullible as the younger people are to a lot of their methods of
Well,
marketing.
and that's part of what I'm saying is that
Right.
you're, from experience, you're going to go and look at you're not going to swing wildly in the wind chasing the next best thing.
You want to know the top story I see on Facebook right now on my right-hand side news feed? Massachusetts governor takes tequila shot for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh my
GOP Massachusetts governor Charlie Baker, the country's most popular governor, was spotted on video taking tequila shots with locals in Boston in a Boston bar to celebrate St. Patrick's. That's the top
You know
news.
No.
What is,
thing about that, Nick?
Yeah.
That will act to the younger generation will actually work to his advantage.
Oh, it would totally work to his advantage. That's great. People
It's
love
like,
that stuff.
Clinton
like
blowing
Trump.
saxophone on that whatever that late night TV show was.
Saturday
I
Night
want to
Live.
see what your AI mining profile looks like, Nick.
Oh man,
I get stories about, I don't know. So I half of the stuff that shows up on either sponsored ads or suggested stories that I get on Facebook, it's such crap.
yeah. So I find, and then of course the first word of the article is GOP governor because that's only GOP Democrats don't drink alcohol, so it's that's why it's important to point that out.
Data firm tied to Trump campaign talked business with Russians.
Oh, I know.
Cambridge Analytica. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah. But the pictures from the article, the main article, is just 20-something hipster-looking programmer who's the whistleblower. Oh, but Cambridge Analytica has denied it, so it didn't happen. But
So
he has the goods.
So who has been verified by Twitter from you guys? Anybody? Why?
No. Why the hell would we be verified?
Well, Twitter could one day allow everyone to be verified by one of the company's signature blue ticks.
Perfect.
Does it cost money to get verified? They want money? Or what?
And then might as well nobody should be verified. What's
Right.
the point?
No, that's not true. I mean, there is a verification. If they go to the trouble of actually verifying who you say you are to the extent that you can establish it, then that would be useful. But I mean, that's what Gab did, Gab.ai. If they could confirm manually, at least to the extent that, I mean, you could always fool them, but there's some processes you go through. I think you even have to, they charge like $10 donation or something because that way they would have your valid credit card number and they would verify you. Nick got it for free, but the fact is that that process would institute some degree of security in the process because on Twitter anybody can be anything.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to I mean, especially for example, if you Trump's Twitter is at real Donald Trump. There are people that are real Donald Trump with the L being replaced, lowercase L being replaced by an uppercase I. There's a lot of and they use the same pictures and everything like that. There's definitely a need for some type of verification for celebrities and stuff like that on social media. I don't disagree with that at all.
Why should celebrities be entitled to any better verification than you are?
Well, I'm not. I don't believe at this point in time I'm trying to be.
Because they're provide so much value to society.
No, it has nothing to do with them providing value. But it's nobody's trying to be me on social
Right.
media.
That's the point.
That's the
You don't know what accounts.
and if somebody was, I'd have to report it to Twitter and see what happens. But I mean, if you search Donald Trump Twitter, there's a million fake accounts that copy that. I don't know how they have it set up. Every time he tweets, their account copies the tweet and tweets it.
Yeah, go ahead and report that to Twitter. I'm sure they'll get right on it.
It has nothing to do with them getting right on it, but that's the point of the system.
But a celebrity's opinion is so much more important than ours.
And so much more accurate.
Has to be verified.
I mean, we know that Twitter caters to Hollywood,
Of course.
and it probably started from that. And people say, "Hey, why don't you?" We don't want people to say things like we did. doesn't
But I
matter.
don't follow anyone who's verified.
Yeah. So if everybody's verified, that's
You don't
it.
follow Trump on Twitter?
No.
There you go.
I use other tools to watch what's on Twitter. I don't actually log into Twitter.
I mean,
if nobody check out an application or a site called Thread Reader. It's a way of you can take a thread that's multiple, somebody will put something out there, it'll be 35 tweets. And what they do is they just roll it up into one view on one page. It's very handy. The guy does a great job. And you can, from within the app, you can follow certain people.
Interesting.
Like to follow. So it's actually, I actually gave the guy $5 because I thought he did such a good job of doing this. Because I've discovered some people on Twitter that I like to follow, but I don't want to log into Twitter. And it's so much easier with this because it's outside of Twitter. Don't have to log in.
What's the name of it?
Thread Reader. I'll post the link.
Okay.
There's a couple of different versions of it out there, but the one I found I liked. It just happened to stumble across it. I should probably open chat. It would help.
If anybody has, I experienced Uber's flex pricing in full effect last night. Unfreaking believable.
Surge pricing.
Unbelievable. So I left here to go downtown about 7:30. I've done that ride on off, not holiday days, and it's typically like $9 or $10, and it was 15. That's, I mean, a couple bucks more, nothing outrageous. But then I had to come back around, I don't know, 11 or so, and that same Uber ride was $25.
Did you take it or wait?
What?
Did you make the ride or did you wait?
Wait for what? I had to take it. I had no choice.
No. Sometimes you can wait 10 minutes and it'll go back down.
No, it wasn't. I had the app open for a couple minutes looking at it, and that was the price.
I'm just telling you, I've done it myself. Surge pricing is calculated based on how many people are requesting rides, based on how many cars there are within a specified vicinity. If 2 or 3 people drive into the vicinity, then the surge will disappear.
Yeah, I had the app open for a couple minutes, and the price, it was fluctuating, but it was fluctuating between like 22 and 25. It wasn't.
Why don't you call Derek to come get you?
Okay. So yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I guess when it comes to a night like St. Patrick, and they know that a lot of people are drinking, it's also they figured that people will pay more because they don't want to drive. And if anybody,
I probably the reality is I probably could have taken a cab for less at $25. I mean, it wouldn't have been as seamless of an experience, but I'm almost certain I could have taken a cab for $25.
Well, I wonder if there's surge pricing on cabs. That would be an interesting thing to ask.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, once you're there, it's not like I really didn't have another option to get home. So I mean, it's one of those things that doesn't really matter.
Take a bus, mass transit.
Yeah, no, thank you. So
why?
yeah,
Why? Wait a second, Nick. Why did you say no, thank you?
I don't. You don't take the buses in Wilmington because they're just
on
because they don't run.
Oh. Call the
So-
mayor, tell him to give you a ride.
Yeah, I could have asked. They had the booze bus driving around with where they were taking all the drunk people and putting them on that. I could have gotten a ride on that.
I mean, you could have, if you'd been drunk enough, you could have gotten on the bus and ridden and not care where you went.
That's true. No, the booze bus was the bus that the cops were driving around with where they were putting all
Tell
the
the
people.
cops to give you a ride home. I saw cops give a guy a ride home one night. It was too polluted.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Speaking of drunk drivers, I was telling Amnon before the show started about a incident. I get a call from someone asking me to talk to their husband, saying, talk some sense into him. He got a call supposedly from his nephew saying, got arrested. I had an accident and I need you to send me bail money. And the guy said, Uncle so-and-so, this is
So-and-so.
your nephew. I mean, it sounded legit. So I called him. I said, what's going on? Oh, I don't want to let him, he's going to lose his job. He's trying. And the main point that we were trying to make was that he did it. He wants to hide it from his parents and his. So we never thought it was a scam. Just thought shouldn't do this because this kid, he's got to face the music. And turns out it was a scam. It wasn't real.
Did he send the money or no?
No, thank God he didn't. Because I said to him, he goes, yeah, maybe I should call his mother. And I said, yeah, damn right, call his mother. Because he doesn't, you can't, he's going to lose his job. He's traveling on business and he gets DUI. How's that work? So watch out. They were smart enough to call him uncle, say, this is so-and-so. I'm here on business. I don't want my mother to know. And just.
Sorry, dude.
Very clever.
So the guy didn't recognize his nephew's.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was why my sister wanted me to say something. So.
Yeah, but
Sorry,
it's happening. It was on the news one day. They were saying that this happened. They tell you that they kidnapped your son or kidnapped your husband or whatever, and you have to pay so much. And some people paid. But anyway.
Well, when you got too much money, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
George, what's his name? Warren Buffett did it. He just put it all into a charity. He's just such a wonderful guy.
Democrat Party.
Echo. A new update is rolling out to Amazon Echo devices that gives users the option to make Alexa respond with a short beeping sound rather than her customary, okay. They're seeing a new feature this week. CNET reports that you access the brief mode. They call it the brief mode. In the Amazon Alexa app settings menu under Alexa voice responses. You can also ask your Alexa enabled device to turn on the brief mode. Once the setting is enabled, you can ask Alexa to control devices to which she is connected, and she will respond with beeps rather than okay to let you know that she received that she received and completed the task. Don't want to completely quiet Alexa down? Amazon also rolled out a follow-up mode last week that's designed to let you talk to Alexa more naturally. That mode will let you make successive requests without needing to use Alexa's wake word between each command. Now, sorry guys, I don't know how many Alexas I woke up in this article, but there you go.
Did you hear the story that Alexa, the A appliance
Echo
is saying that it's waking up and just laughing at people, just out of nowhere, just hear it, the thing just laughs.
Yep.
I think we talked about that last week, but
I have not heard it. I don't know anybody that heard it, but there were stories all over the place about it.
It's diabolical laughing.
They said, but Amazon said they fixed it. So it must have been true. Now, everybody can use a laugh. Alexa can too.
But are they laughing with you or against you?
Well,
they're laughing at you.
They're just
That's
laughing.
Spencer, this app that you sent, a Thread Reader app, is that for the phone only?
No. This is, you just go to that site and it's on. You can use the browser version of it. You don't have to use the app. I've never used the app.
Browser version.
It's just you go to the browser and there are suggested sites. But if you want to follow go to Twitter, click on a thread, and then say copy the ID of the thread, which is twitter.com/ the username / and then the numerical ID, and you take it over to the site and you paste it into the site. It will show you that thread, however many tweets it's made up of, in a logical order, readable order.
That you have to do. Well, I don't follow that. You got to paste it one time or every time.
One time. And once you have the person's in there the first time, you can click follow. Now in order to do the following, you have to create an ID with the app. but what I do instead of that is I don't have to even log into the app. I can, or load it. I can create a bookmark to that person in the Thread Reader app, and then just click on that. It takes me to that person. I can look at what they're. I don't get notifications. Otherwise, you can sign up and get notifications for an individual. So, but the nice part about it is you don't have to be in Twitter at all, unless you want to use the notification. So it's handy because sometimes you'll see somebody will put out there Twitter post 1 of 27, 2 of 27, 3 of 20, and it's just you got to click through this stuff, and the way you view it is not the best in Twitter because it doesn't show the whole thing, and especially if there's graphics pasted in. This way it puts it all together. It's really nice.
But this is a terrible web page. I'm surprised anybody takes time to figure out what this does.
Well, that's you, Mike.
Well, it works.
That's not the question. What I'm telling you is that it'd be the greatest app in the world, but if the web page doesn't do a good job of telling you what it does and selling it to you, then it's doing his work.
He's not actually selling anything. He'll take donations.
But I thought
not selling.
I thought you said there was an app also.
I haven't. It does. It says learn how to use the Twitter bot, Chrome, Android, or iOS apps. I have not even bothered to do that. Okay. I just use it purely. You can go here and it says to unroll a full Twitter thread. You click on that and it will give you a place to paste that. The format is twitter.com user status and then the actual thread ID. You plug that in there and it will just dump it out to you in the browser. As if you go to the page and look down, it'll give you examples. Here's some on technology, science and space, culture and books.
I mean, most of it's on cryptocurrency, but it says free.
But keep going down. There's a lot here. Politics.
Where's politics? Where's anti-Trump?
And then, no, it's not. It's mainly conservative stuff, which is nice. There are some anti-Trump, but there's a couple of guys here that I really like. Stealth Jeff is good.
I'm going to click on Stealth Jeff to read 17 tweets.
Yep.
Unroll
and
thread,
there's a guy named Thomas Wicker who has some great posts. You have to take it for what it is. I mean, this is just like trending stuff. But if you set up your own bookmarks, then you can use it. You can start an account. I haven't bothered. I don't need to. So it's handy.
What is wrong with people who don't realize the $ sign comes before the number? I mean, where in the world does the currency mark come after the number? There must be some place in the world.
There is. I'm pretty sure in Europe, does it not?
No.
Oh.
John,
one of the other sites that I stumbled across here, related to science and space, was a guy's post. It's like 65 tweets about the current status of NASA projects. Which was it wasn't a whole lot of information, which is nice. It wasn't just a 30-page article. You scan through it, talking about Cassini and talking about the status of the different private companies that are contractors to NASA and what they're doing, and it was really good. It's just a good way to get a personalized look without signing. I mean, Flipboard is nice and all that stuff is good for stories if you're bored. But if you want to zero in on a specific person and see in an easy format. So.
All right. Change. Amazon. This is an interesting article. Amazon is hiring 1,147 people just for its Alexa business. To put this number in perspective, it has to be mentioned that this number is higher than what Google is hiring for technical and product roles across its Alphabet group of companies, including YouTube and Waymo. Amazon is hiring engineers, data scientists, developers, analysts, payment services, professionals, among others. It's clear that Amazon is betting big on the smartphone speaker market if the hiring numbers are to go by. It was the first major companies to come up with the smart speaker and has almost 70% market share in the US. Google has been making inroads with Google Home devices, but still has a lot of catching up to do. So the City report further mentions that other notable areas where Amazon is hiring are devices, advertising, and seller services. They're looking to hire a total of 1,700 employees for other divisions. So these guys are hiring by the thousands. Very interesting. And
about they're exploiting having a speaker, a live speaker in your home.
well, it's
And
very, yeah.
They hear your conversations. Oh, we don't do anything with it. Yeah, right.
But they're doing it and people are still buying it. So I don't know. I mean, I can't say I don't have any concerns. I don't think about it, and there's nothing going on in the kitchen that I wouldn't want somebody to hear or that I would hide. You know, I don't know. It's
Amnon, it's like if I'm sitting there and I'm saying, "Hey, honey, get the shovel so we can bury that money we stole in the back."
exactly. You see, that's a different story.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Spence, and this has been my argument. If you're concerned about Alexa and Amazon, you've also got to be concerned about your phone and your laptop and everything else. It's like, so you either are all in or completely disconnected. And
if you've kept up with some of the NSA, all the stuff that came out about the NSA, and they've got ways to take your smart TV and turn it into a microphone, and they've got ways to take any phone in the world and make it into a microphone, and
Right.
data tracker, and it's
that's the point. So it's like, why is that going any different? I mean, it's like, if they want to listen to me, they're going to do it on my cell phone anyway. So what's another listening device going to do? It's, I mean,
I would assume on your phone, it's not going to be somebody trying to sell you something.
no.
On Echo, primarily, I believe it's to try to sell you something. So, and you wonder why, if you'll know something's up when you talk about something you've never talked about before, some product and Echo is there, and suddenly in Facebook and other places, you start seeing ads for that product.
Yeah.
That would be scary.
Well, we were talking about it last week. Ron was telling me that he was talking with his son, and they don't have an Alexa. They don't have anything like that. But he was thinking that somebody was listening to him on the phone. He was talking with his son in the room about some hardware. And he said a few hours later on the computer, bam, it came up as one of the things like he was searching for. And he said, I never searched for it. The only thing is I kind of, by the way, spoke with Joseph around the table and at supper about this thing. And he said it happened twice. One time he was actually talking on the phone with somebody and it came up a few hours later. So it could be a fluke and it may not be a fluke.
Is there also a computer in the room where he was?
Yes.
That's possible. That's the source of it.
It's all kind of possibilities. It could also be that when they were out, somebody came and put a bug in the house, right? I mean, you know, you can go on and on about this, but the bottom line is...
We're wondering where Snowden is. He was out front of his house with a parabolic mic listening.
See, Brian is saying it happened to him.
Window vibrations with a laser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Something else about Microsoft here. Microsoft has revealed today that we will begin testing a change where links clicked on within the Windows Mail app will open in Microsoft Edge. They're going to try and force you to use Edge for that. What this means is that if you have Chrome or Firefox set as your default browser in Windows 10, Microsoft will simply ignore that and force you into Edge when you click a link within the Mail app. And The Verge is reporting, as always, we look forward to feedback from our WIP community, says Microsoft Dana Sarkar in a blog post. I'm sure Microsoft will receive a lot of feedback over this unnecessary change, and we can only hope the company doesn't ignore it.
Well, fortunately, nobody uses the mail app, so you're good to go.
Right.
That's the,
Yeah, that's good. And I see one, not being a programmer, but I see one way to solve this is to duplicate your Chrome and put the name Edge or whatever the file name for Edge is. So when it calls Edge, it'll call Chrome. I don't know if it's possible. But yeah,
I
who's
think
using?
that Microsoft did it so that they could have their weekly meeting, staff meeting, where they go over the concerns and they just have a good laugh. Did you hear this one? This guy said, Yep, that's what it is. It's just a morale builder for them to say.
There is no way to remove Edge, is there? It's like IE, which was part of the OS, right? Anybody know?
IE or Edge is part of the OS. IE, I don't believe, is on
today. Today it is,
by law, IE has to be removable, but Edge is not. Wasn't subject to the lawsuit.
I don't have Internet Explorer on my.
Me neither. So,
It's funny. Internet Explorer still has, of course, a wide adoption, and much of that has to do with security apps and security and security, company-wide security. I know many people that have to use IE in order for the secure website access that their companies require.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the case.
It's not that the other ones won't do it. It's just that that's the only one they tested and the only one they support.
I don't know that that's the case anymore. It used to be.
I still see it from
It's
time to
gotten
time.
better. It has gotten better. I know people in the financial space that have secure access, and they were adding other browsers. And one of the reasons why was that there were updates that were coming out for IE that were breaking the security. And Microsoft was not responsive to fix these changes that were made that broke people's security. So they said, we can't put up with this anymore. I know one guy that had to keep removing an update from his machine in order to get his security to work.
Nick, you were going to say?
I think for a lot of, like Spencer's saying, a lot of like intranet websites, a lot of internal websites, I still think that's pretty, not common, but is still a thing. Every once in a while, I'll see a website that says tested and, or, guaranteed to work in Internet Explorer version 9 plus. I mean, I still use it in Chrome or whatever, and it works fine. But
correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Windows 8? It started in Windows 8 that you had to go search for Explorer, for IE, if you wanted to use it. It was hidden.
And you got to remember, if you're some of the things we're talking about, these people are still using. There's some people that are still using Windows 7 for this stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's not really a concern, and they're not going to update to Windows 10. If they're not planning on a Windows 10 update anytime soon, on 7, it's not a problem. IE's still installed. So whatever I don't know what's it, IE 12, IE 11, whatever the most recent version is.
Yeah, I think it's 11. 12
11
is with 8.
So there you go.
I have to go back to one of my computer customers because a Windows 7 update came out this past week that broke one machine. It turned off all the file sharing, which broke his app because the files were stored on that one machine. And it messed up his profile on his machine. So it was still dealing with some other issues. I fixed that. I was able to go in and just turn file sharing back on. Everything worked. But why? Why would they turn it off in an update on a Windows Pro machine, Windows 7 Pro machine? Both of them.
Incompetence.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes,
unless they're trying to force you to go with 10. They say, "Oh, I'll make Windows 7 break a lot, so we can suggest going with 10."
I got a call from Omar this week saying he went to the office and it said, "Hi, I'm front desk. or my name is front desk, whatever. And he said he couldn't go past it. It wanted to authenticate again. So I went there, and this is an upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And of course, you don't have a number. So I figured there was some skipping here and there. And when I got to the desktop, he's using that's the computer in the front office where they do all the invoices, and he does the invoices with Excel and a series of templates. You click on Excel, it says it had some error. Now I don't remember the error, but it had an error. It won't come up. And I'm saying, what? So I go to all programs, and there is Excel, and I click on it, same thing. I go on Windows Explorer and look at the file system, and Excel is there. But it won't come up. And Chrome won't come up, because I was trying to go and see if there's a problem with the computer. So Chrome won't come up. The parts program from WorldPack came up and worked okay. So I ended up, I went at that point and looked at system, and it said that it was registered and activated, sorry. So everything was fine. And yeah, it broke, the update broke the thing and made it forget some programs. So I installed a new version of Office for him so he can use it, and downloaded Chrome and installed it, and everything is working. I mean, it's been working all this week, but it was a pain in the butt. An update. Come on.
You think remember the story that came out saying something about how Microsoft was diverting resources to the development, but not the system test for Windows 10? That they were doing more to come out with more features faster than they were to actually doing regression testing on the software. Maybe that's what we're seeing.
Oh. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. This is how Google works too. For hours on Thursday, the top Google search result for Amazon, the word Amazon, was pointed to a scam site. The bad ad, what?
Said nice.
The bad ad appeared at the very top of the search result for anyone searching for the internet retail giant. It went and it screwed people up. But I have one pet peeve here that I always, when I talk to any customer on the phone or whatever, I always wonder, what in the hell are they doing? If I tell somebody, go to google.com, they don't know to type it in the address bar. They put it in the search. They put Google and search comes up. That's the only way they know how to go. I said, and I always explain to people, if you know where you're going to go, that means that you have the phone number. You don't call 411 and ask, can you give me the number for such and such if you have it? You dial it. It's the same thing with the browser. If you go ahead.
Oh, I'm astonished. I see it work all the time. You know, you do a search on Google or some search engine, I don't know, Yahoo.
Yeah.
And the first link is an ad to a separate site. And I'm astonished with how many people click on the first damn link.
Yep.
When I say click on the first thing, it's click on the ad. And then it's like, no, not the ad.
The ad.
The freaking, the link, the place you're trying to go. What are you doing?
It's interesting that the default in Chrome is to warn you that that site is not secure. If you click on the ad version, like each week when I do the specials, I type in staples.com and it'll show the search. Unfortunately, that's the way my Chrome is set up in this one machine. And so it'll say, the first one will say add. And if you click on that one, it'll come back and say, this site is not secure. You're sure you want to proceed? But if I click on the actual site, the next one, which isn't the ad, which is just the same URL from the search perspective, it works. No problem. So
I don't know. I just don't get that typing. Instead of going to Microsoft.com, type Microsoft in a search and then click. I mean, I typed one time here when I was sitting on the laptop here during the middle of the show, I wanted to go to Facebook. So I just typed Facebook and hit enter and said, oh, shoot. And by the time it came up, there was the site there. So I clicked on it because it said Facebook.com. I clicked on it. Poof! Avast came up and said, nah, there's something here. So I looked, and it wasn't Facebook.com. I can't remember what it was, but it was a little bit off. So somehow these things do get into Google, and they are not stopping it, preventing it from being displayed. But the trick and the best way, and now there's another risk in typing. You can type Google and you may misspell the word. I mean, with Google it doesn't happen much, but with other places, and if you misspell, a lot of bad actors get the domains that they figure people will type by mistake, and that's how they get you. So I guess it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But when the problem is that when you go to Google and you type something, you trust that link is safe, and in many cases it's not. So this was Amazon. I mean, people got infected, and the page presents itself as an official Apple or Windows support page, depending on the type of computer you visiting the page from. I mean, these things are getting very sophisticated. A lot of the customers, I mean, they learned already. So I tell them, if you see something popping up, just Control-Alt-Delete and close the browser. I get calls, and somebody said, yeah, I was told to call somebody. I said, what did you do? They said, I did what you did. So now what you told me to do, to close it. So what do I need to do now? And really, at that point, just to make sure that you did not download something while on the page, I tell them to either run CCleaner, which will clean it, or to just delete the history and cookies and all that stuff. And in most cases, well, in all cases, everything is fine after that. So, yeah, if you see any of those things, and we need to remember, no company, no page that you go into is legitimately going to ask you to call them. Microsoft does not have people sitting there looking at people's computers to know that they have a virus. And a lot of these say, oh, your computer is infected. We noticed or we detected that computer is infected. Please call this number. No, nobody's doing that. These are all scams. So just remember, just like what people used to do, we used to get emails that the bank is asking you to verify your username and password. And everybody, after a while, understood. Nobody is going to ask you to do it online. And you should always look at the URL that you're going to. You should always and look at it carefully.
Amnon, I have a bunch of friends who are Nigerian princes. What are you trying to say?
Yeah. I know. What?
They're great guys. I mean, they really want to help.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Spence, do you want to do specials?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to open it up. I've been negligent here, but
Yeah.
one funny thing about these scams, if you want to get a good hoot, go on YouTube and just search on people who post videos of their teasing or playing with these scammers,
Oh,
and they'll just lead the guy on about, oh, I got, looking for for whatever reason, they want to get him to send a money order or something like that, and they'll just keep the guy going for 2 hours.
There's a guy
It's
on
so great.
There's a guy on Twitch. Let me see if I can find his channel. He does it live on Twitch with VMs and stuff and voice changers, and he puts on a damn production. I'll find it for after the specials, but it's freaking hilarious.
Some of it is great, and then at the end, he can predict. You can predict the like the words that are curse words in Indian. What the guy's gonna say. It's so funny. Oh, we're at the store now. We're standing outside the convenience store, and my grandfather, he just doesn't want to go in. He's so worried, and oh, it's okay. Tell your grandfather everything's fine. It's just great. It's just great. And they get to the end where they, please send the money, please.
I'm sending it.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming right now. Oh, there's an error. What do I do? Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Anyway.
Okay.
I found. Yeah, I'll post a link to this guy's channel. He's not live right now. It's Kit Boga is his name, and that's what he does. And I'll have
do it after the specials.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
All
right. So, Computers 2K Now specials for March 18th, 2018. And starting out with laptops. I was almost didn't want to recommend any AMD machines today, and I knew it was Ryzen
look
only.
at you. Look at you. You go right into the meat of things, and you're putting all these interesting ads at the top. You're not talking about them.
What?
10 megabytes computer system. I mean, these things. Why are you putting them up there?
Oh, because I thought it'd be fun for people to see. I don't know who downloads this. That's true. But look at the price on this one. I never heard of this company, IMSAI. Whatever. I mean, thinking ahead for the 80s. It's an outfit out of Oakland, California. It was probably just a custom built from parts machine, but a 10 meg hard disk system, 1 5 1/4, 1 8-bit microprocessor, 16-bit optional, 64K RAM standard, 256K optional, 10-slot motherboard. Wow, that's definitely not IBM standard. 28 amp power supply, 28 amps, 12-inch monitor, $59.95.
$5,995.
$6,000. I still have a Best Buy ad from back in the 90s that's got like a 486 SX machine for $39.99. Oh, man. And I love this ad. It says 150 extra engineers. If you buy one of these IBM, I can't even tell what it's called, 150. No, I can't tell. It doesn't really give you a model number. But if you buy this data processing machine from IBM, it's like having 150 extra slide rule capable engineers. And it's got a picture of that on the background. That's something.
All right.
That's an old ad. All right.
Okay.
But I digress. Okay. Laptops. Well, Best Buy has got a Dell 15.6-inch AMD A6, $229 entry-level machine, 50 off. Office Depot has a HP 15.6-inch touchscreen laptop, Core i3, still another entry-level machine, $389.99, save $160. And if you're looking for a high-end machine, Dell i7 laptop at Staples for $589, it's $210 off the regular price. Desktops all-in-ones we've got at Best Buy, Lenovo Idea Center. This is a mid-size. They do have the micro size, but this is a mid-size. It could be desktop, small desktop. A9 series AMD, $279.99, save $100. These are great little workhorses for if you don't need a fancy, high graphic capability workstation, just a desktop for someone that's medium grade. These are really good machines, bulletproof, very small. I've set up several of these Lenovo Idea Centers, different types. You can order them with any options. They've got third-party vendors out there that will configure and ship them to you with all different options, different OS, memory configurations. Great deals. Office Depot has a Dell desktop Core i5 for $499, 180 off, and an HP 22-inch all-in-one Intel Pentium quad core available at Staples for $359, $85 off. That has at times been maybe $20 or $30 cheaper, but still, if you're looking for an all-in-one, hopefully for a public area in your house, so kids have a place to go online without being in their rooms, this would be a good choice for a small footprint machine. Tablets. No traditional tablet on sale at Best Buy, meaning with either an iOS machine or a Android machine, but we do have an Acer 11.6-inch touchscreen Chromebook with an Intel processor for $269. That's 30 off. Office Depot Office Max has a sale on a New Vision 8-inch 16 gig storage, 1 gig memory, Android Nougat 7 Nougat tablet for $69.99. It's 10 off. And Staples has a Samsung Galaxy Tab A for $229, which is 50 off. Networking. Best Buy's got a Netgear AC 1750 dual band router for $109. That's 20 off. They've got at Office Depot a Netgear DOCSIS 3.0 24x8 cable modem for $89.99. That's actually a pretty good price for this model. This is a very capable machine, but 24x8. That's going to be able to, you're going to be able to pull in the fastest cable internet speeds available using this box. Staples has a Netgear Orbi whole house tri-band system, and they've got every imaginable option for this Orbi system that will take, if you go to their webpage and you search on the Orbi and you do a comparison, this particular one is an entry level for a small home, they say. But it does give you the base station, which has its own radio in it, and you've got the slave module that plugs into power somewhere else in the house, and it works off a separate wireless backhaul system, which means it connects the backbone in a 5 gigahertz band that's separate from the usable band that the users see. So it's actually quite clever. Most of the systems use this technology. It's a hub, a wireless hub system. One is actually connected by wire connection to the internet, and the others are all wirelessly mesh connected. Very clever. Gives you high-speed throughput, especially in bad situations in homes with bad coverage. They're expensive, but this is a pretty good price for an entry-level system, $199, which is 50 off. Sorry for the long explanation. Storage. Now, this is a deal. Best Buy, 4 terabyte Western Digital external USB 3 portable hard drive, 4 terabytes for $99, save $100. That is a deal. You can get a 1 terabyte at Office Depot for $49.99, Western Digital portable 3.0. And Staples has a Vivitar 5-in-1 multifunction card reader. Now, this does not use the good old compact flash that was out there, which that cameras used to use, but this uses SD cards and micro SD cards, and it's got a couple of different choices for connectivity: USB-C, USB-A. So $9.99, that's 5 off. Accessories, we've got at Best Buy a SanDisk Ultra 256 gig USB 3.0 flash drive for $64.99. That's $135 off the regular price. Office Depot has a Logitech multimedia speaker in gray. You're looking for an inexpensive, good sounding speaker. $14.99, that's 5 off. Staples has Logitech MK550 wireless keyboard Wave. This is one of the fancier, more multimedia tuned keyboards and mouse combos, $44.99, $35 off. Monitor, Samsung 24-inch curved monitor at Best Buy for $149.99, that's 30 off. FreeSync. What does FreeSync mean?
I
I
don't know.
guess it's just a brand name. I don't think it's a technology. Maybe it's just, remember how you used to have who was the company had the multi-sync monitors? Because they would automatically switch
Yeah.
modes depending on the input. You hear a relay click inside the machine. Remember that, Amnon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Um,
Something.
remember.
Office Depot has a Samsung 24-inch monitor for $129. That's a deal. 24-inch, say $50. And Acer monitor at Staples 23.8-inch for $99. Save $50. Printers and scanners. Best Buy has a Brother 2320D. This is an entry level. This is not wireless. Has no network capability, but does connect by USB. So if you have a machine that you don't need to share full time, if it's okay to share it across using the PC sharing instead of using network sharing, still a good printer. $59.99, $40 off the regular
It's a
price.
great printer.
Brother, you've got a couple of these. Maybe the earlier ones of this, Amnon, but yeah, these are great machines.
Yep.
Brother P-Touch Cube label printer at Office Depot for $39.99, save $20. And Canon Pixma wireless home office. It's a TR8520 inkjet printer for $99. That's $100 off the regular price. Home automation and security. They do have at Best Buy this. If you see the yellow inside the icon for the vendor realtor, it means that the retailer this is not off the weekly ad. It might still be on sale, but it's found on their webpage. Insignia Voice Smart Bluetooth speaker with Google Assistant built in. So this is an alarm clock with built-in Google Assistant. It's half price, $49.99, $50 off. Netgear Arlo, wireless security system with 2 HD cameras. It's an expandable system, $259, $70 off. And Amazon Cloud Cam indoor security camera works with Alexa. This is at Staples for $119. It's advertised in the weekly ad, but it's not on sale. And finally, at Fry's, we got some. I like to highlight some unique stuff each week. We've got a Diamond 5K Ultra docking station, $169, $30 off. Up 2 displays, 2 HDMI displays, and it supports 5K or 4K displays. 1 RJ45, 6 USB 3, line in, line out microphone. These are handy. These, especially if you've got a high performance laptop that you don't want to have to plug the monitor in every time you dock it. You just plug this guy in using high speed USB.
Well, the thing is, how do you plug it in?
USB 3.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it might. Some of them come. It depends on the model, so you got to look at it. Some of them will be DisplayPort, but to get the full functionality of this, to have the USB expansion and all that, you got to connect with USB. CyberPower 850 VA battery backup, $74, which is $588 off. Not a big sale, but gets it down to a little bit less than what you might be able to find it on Amazon. These devices are handy. A universal Bluetooth audio receiver. If you want to turn some speaker device into a Bluetooth capable device, you would use this. He uses a mini plug. It says RCA or aux, so it's not just the mini plug. It does use have an adapter for RCA. So $19.99. That's almost $10 off. If you like to have your tablets accessible, and I see more and more people using this, this is a universal under cabinet or wall tablet mount for tablets 4.7 inches up to 12.9. $17.99. That's $7.33 off. If you've got Amnon's network environment there where he works, where he does all his day trading and currency manipulation, he's got all these monitors set up. He's just right in the thick of everything. So he's got like 20 of these with 20 tablets set up, keeping tabs on the pulse of the world's economy. Right, Amnon?
Well, sorry, what? I was
producing fake news about AMD trying to manipulate the market.
He's tied into everything. All right. Patriot 5-port USB mini charger station for $14.99. Nice. It's got 8 amps total. on some of these ports. So that's some fast charging. And finally, Amnon, this is for you. This is the Garmin Index Smart Scale, Wi-Fi connected scale.
Jeez.
So you can step on that scale and instantly alert the world as to what's happening with your weight. Up to 16 users. And it calculates your body fat, body mass index, skeletal muscle mass, and more. So all set for that, right?
Yep.
And that's it for today's specials on, what is today again? March 18th,
18.
2018.
Thanks,
two more
Spence.
days to our 41st anniversary.
Wow.
Yep.
Congratulations.
We made it.
All right, so you go ahead and talk. I need to go and manipulate and
Currency?
the Russian elections.
Hey, tell Putin that the last time I talked to him, go out and check out a story that if you're interested in some of this stuff, go out and check out this aircraft carrier that Russia rolls out there every so often, showing jets on the deck of this aircraft carrier that still uses coal as its propulsion system. It is completely a bogus setup. They have these jets sitting on there that it was designed for short takeoff and landing, like amphibious type stuff with the ramped end of the runway.
Uh-huh.
These jets can only take off if they have a quarter load of fuel and no weapons on board. It's the only way they can fly off this thing. It's purely rolled out there to say, oh, look, it's a Russian aircraft carrier. So funny.
It's probably all photoshopped.
No, it's not. It's like they show this thing, but you recognize it right away because it's belching out black smoke.
All right, so
CNN fake news.
Nick, did you put that link you were going to put?
I did not. I will though. Put it in there right now. This guy's great. Big fan of his work. Yeah, so pretty much what he does is so what he does is he calls these like the IRS will leave you a message and tell you need to do this or whoever, and he just calls them back and uses a voice changer and has VMs set up and ready to go, and he screws it. I was watching a video of what Spence was doing specials. He had the person on the other end playing tic-tac-toe with him. It's funny stuff. Very funny stuff. So it's quite funny.
Yeah.
Could you imagine doing that as your job?
That would be fun.
No. I mean, realistically though, like that's got to be one hell of a. That's got to be something interesting to be doing.
So listen to this. Iranian users have not been able to access Apple's App Store all day that was last week, in what appeared to be a ban put in place by the U.S. company. According to reports and sources who spoke with Bleeping Computer, the ban appears to have been put in place earlier today, around noon, GMT. Not today, that was last week again. Users were not able to connect to the Apple App Store to install or update applications. When visiting the App Store, they were instead greeted with a message: the App Store is unavailable in the country or region you're in.
Nice.
This ban appeared to be IP-based, and an Iranian security researcher told Bleeping Computers that he successfully connected to the App Store while using a VPN, despite having Iran-related details set on his account. So I've got one problem with this. Well, two problems. One is most of the people that use the cell phones in Iran are the younger generation who are very much against the administration over there. Second, and I don't know that for sure, I don't know if Apple sells iPhones in Iran. But
they do.
But if they do, how can they stop them from going in? I mean, this is...
They block the apps. So every app store, every The U.S. has an app store.
Yeah.
Canada has a different app store from that. So what they do is they're blocking access to the Iranian app store. And that's all it is. Think about it like
Oh, so you mean
think about it like Amazon.com. There's Amazon.com, Amazon CA, Amazon AZ.
So you think that they blocked Iranian from coming into the U.S.?
No, they blocked the
Store?
Iranians from going into the Iranian app store without a VPN. I don't know why they would block. Why they block the.
Well,
I don't
I mean-
know why they wouldn't just shut. I don't know why they'd only block the store internally, not because the guy said he could get it to a VPN. That
Yeah,
doesn't
but
really make
but the
any
point
sense,
here is if you're selling devices over there, you cannot block those devices from going in to get updated and things like that. That's
well, they
that's
absolutely
wrong.
could. I mean, Apple could do whatever the hell they want. It's their
Well-
ecosystem. I mean, that's the reality of the
Yeah.
situation. But that's odd that
That they could.
can
I
be
mean, they
accessed
didn't
with a
think about
VPN.
it. Yeah.
realistically, and I've had this happen before too. For example, there was a for infection. There's a game that we talk about, and there's a mobile app that's coming out. It was accidentally leaked in the Canadian iOS App Store. So I tried going through and creating a Canadian Apple ID on an old iPad, and used a VPN and everything, and I got all the way up until it asked me to put a credit card in, and I didn't have one with a Canadian billing address. But yeah, the app stores they're all separate. They've got every region or country or whatever you'd want to call it has got a different app store.
All right.
And that's due to what do they call it? Fragmentation?
Yeah, fragmentation. I mean, there's no reason to have the whatever app in
Custom tailored for a country at another.
yeah,
app.
exactly. The Iranian bus app. I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing
Plus,
something. But,
from a commerce perspective, why have to deal with currency changes?
yeah.
Right.
And another thing about Apple, Apple has updated the specs for its Made for iPhone Accessories program, letting accessory makers put USB-C ports on licensed devices, as well as create a 3.5mm to Lightning cables for the first time. So I guess they're going to be able to make...
Wait, 3.5mm to Lightning? They're actually allowing that now?
Yep.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they're letting third party. They're allowing them to do that.
Good. Hopefully we get some decent
Yeah.
quality ones now, because the
Yeah.
ones that exist right now are junk. Spence can attest to that. Somehow managed to lose my splitter. I don't know what I did with it.
Oh,
Order another one.
Well,
the one that's been working good. I actually bought two of them so I can have one in the car and one at home. Works good so far.
and
I have Amnon. I did get the software loaded on the capture device that I got, the USB to
Yeah.
composite. I just haven't I haven't sat down to do it yet.
Okay.
I need to start that and let it run. I got asked by my cousin if I still had the original video of a VCR tape I created for my grandparents back in the 1980s. It's like, well, let me go look. I might have it right here. So it was so funny. I scrambled and I actually found the tape, but I couldn't find the capture I had done of it. I have no idea where it is. Back then, I produced video, like anniversary videotapes, and my setup was an original VHS portable deck that I had an external screw-in connector camera. It wasn't a camcorder, and I'd set it up with a tripod and an easel, and I'd put the pictures that I had, these old pictures in there, and I'd hit the pause button to fade. I'd fade in and fade out and hit pause and just change the pictures. And then this deck actually had a sound on sound feature, which was great to add the soundtrack later. And I had put that together, and I remember sending it to my grandparents' 60th anniversary party when they were down in Florida, and they watched it, and it was, oh, how did you do this? I said, with duct tape and chewing gum.
Good old days.
Yeah, no, it was
I can't even
fun.
I can't even comprehend something like that. That is an uncomprehendable
I
thing.
know. It's like literally the Stone Age, but it was the only thing we had. There were professional digital systems out there, but you had to work for a TV studio to have access to it.
But Nick, I will tell you, the day will come when you will look back and you will say, "Oh, back in the old days, we used to have to digitize this stuff."
We only had 5 megabits upload.
Yeah,
It was
we only had a gigabit up and down.
That was a real pain.
That. I have a question. How do I crack this open, Spence?
What's that? I mean, I'm not on the. So I got
A Dremel.
You really have to use a knife and be very careful.
I don't want to use a knife.
Now, one thing you can do, look on the side with the label.
Yep.
Is there any
Oh.
screws?
Or
Yeah.
how about on the flat? So both big surfaces are black?
Well, there's one big black surface. There's another one with a label.
Okay,
on it.
yeah, that one.
What
Run-
brand is it? HP?
Yeah, there are no screws.
Yeah, okay, so you felt it. Yeah, so you're going to have to use a knife.
A hot knife that works. If you don't care about the case, heat up a knife with a torch. Get it glowing red. You could do a nice. It's like cutting through butter. I used to use it to do when I did custom radio installations in cars that didn't have DIN
Kind of knife.
dashboards. Yeah, an X-Acto knife. I'm sorry. I'll show you. I actually still have the kit that I used to use here. Somewhere on my desk.
I don't understand.
Check this out. This is an old X-Acto knife set from when I was a kid. I
Huh.
still have it. But you can take the X-Acto knife blade, the tool, and put a blade in it and heat it up. And you can just go through plastic. You heat it up cherry red and just cut through the plastic, it'll be really easy.
Okay, well, I'll be over in a little bit.
And I think that once you open like a couple of inches, you can stick a screwdriver and just pry it. It may break.
It depends on whether it's glued or not.
Yeah.
These things never should have been welded together.
Well, that's how they get you to buy a new one.
Go on Amazon and look how they, not Amazon, I'm sorry, YouTube, and look up for a video of the production lines where they make plastic cases and things, and they use friction melting. It's fascinating the way they'll put stuff together.
I like stuff repairable.
But it's manufactured to never be serviced.
Yep. And there's
What is
nothing
it
wrong
for?
with
What is it for, Mike?
laptop.
19.
It's an
19
older
volt?
power supply because it's got the line cord
Yeah.
socket on it.
Is it 19 volt?
Yep.
How many amps?
That's actually it's 18 and a half at 5
Yeah.
amps. 6.5 amps.
I probably have a few of them laying here.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I'm trying to clean up a little bit. You can't tell it because you can't see where I've been working, but I'm trying to get some stuff cleaned up in here. I'm rebuilding a 45-year-old console. I lost a piece to it.
What is it right there? Can you show us a picture of it?
No, I can't because I'd have to screw the camera around
Oh, sorry.
backwards and all. I'll show it to you eventually. But I lost a piece to it.
I saw that on Facebook.
But the good news is that the guy who rebuilds them had an extra one, so he's going to send it to me. Then I'll find mine and send it back to him. So
There you go.
Oh, Mike, the one, if you go check out that thread reader, look for a guy named Thomas Wicker. You might like this guy. In a former life, he was a journalist, music journalist, and did interviews with people that were very hard to get to. And he had a little bit different philosophy on how he would conduct interviews that got him into places that he would never have gotten into before. And you might probably, it's our generation of type. He did it like 15 or 20 years ago, but cool stuff.
interesting. I've heard that name recently somewhere. I don't know why.
Here's another thing about Microsoft. Microsoft admits it updated some Windows 10 computers to newest build despite users telling it not to do that. The admission came in a knowledge base article updated last week. Not all users of older Windows versions were forcibly updated. but only those machines that were running Windows 10 version 1703, the Creators Update. This is the version where Microsoft added special controls to the Windows Update settings section that allow users to pause OS updates in case they have driver or other hardware issues with the latest OS version. But according to reports, a Microsoft snafu ignored these settings and forcibly updated some users to Windows 10 full Creator Update.
Perfect.
Yep.
We have lost control of our computers. If this doesn't cause people to dump Windows and go with something else, then Windows is safe forever.
They are safe forever. There's no other alternative.
Yeah. It doesn't look like Linux is making any.
And it's not Linux, it's just the adoption. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Any headway with users.
Nobody will agree with this, but the problem with Linux is there's so many distributions that somebody says, I want to do Linux, and you have 15 people tell you to use 16 different versions. Every one of them is the absolute best for your application. If the Linux community would cut down to about 2 or 3 versions intended for the consumer, they can do whatever they want to for themselves. But if there was some sort of a concentrated or coordinated effort to come out with a user version.
Well, there is, I think.
Well, which one is it?
Ubuntu is the most user friendly. Looks like Windows one that exists.
And then other people say no, you need to do Mint, and then others say you need to do LVFL or whatever that is. I mean,
Mike, I think the trick here is you need to use a distribution that have a huge following and usage and support, and Ubuntu is the first one that came out. What?
Okay, Ben says LXLE.
Yeah, I was just going to say to you,
that's
to Rover, that he told me about that original years ago. LXLE. I just updated one of my older desktops to the latest. The upgrade package on that actually works. I've got some Ubuntu machines that the update always fails on.
Okay, I have a question though. I don't doubt that it's a good distribution. What's the LE stands for?
Oh, I don't remember.
Limited edition. What's limited about it?
It's functionality.
Well, I mean, you see, it's got
a Windows-like interface.
Yeah. So if you want,
I put on machines for seniors who want to have an old machine to use for web browsing.
Okay, that's a different story. That's not Mike. See, Mike,
but it does. Well, I should say, when I say limited, it's got everything you could use.
I don't know. I mean, when I see LE, it is an entry point. It is a big.
Don't let that fool you. It is simple in that it is friendly.
And I don't doubt that.
Overcomp. I think that's the problem with a lot of Linux distributions is there's way too much stuff in there for the average person.
I'm telling you.
Try to load a new version of Firefox on your Ubuntu.
Well, you download from the reason that I think Ubuntu is the most user friendly is that it's got their repo store. It's like the iOS app store on the computer. I think that's.
To be honest, I haven't kept up with them, so I don't use it.
And that's the only reason I say that Ubuntu is the most user friendly and now if you need to install something that's not in the store, which for more advanced stuff you have to apt-get it or whatever you have to do to download it but there is the store where everything is. Not everything. Most things are in there by default. Ubuntu is the user-friendly version of Linux. There's no doubt.
So Rover is saying React OS, according to them, will allow Windows programs to run without wine. But I'm not even saying you need to be able to run Windows programs. I'm saying get the hell away from Windows. But from a purely marketing perspective, a non-technical perspective, the problem is there's too much confusion for the average non-technical person to want to brave Linux. Every time I start to play with it, I load it up, and it's happened every time I've ever loaded up a distribution. Well, where is this? Oh, no, you need to get LXLE to do that. Oh, no, that actually the Mint version is what you're looking for. Well, screw that. How about The problem with Linux acceptability, at least at one level, is exactly the same as it is in politics. And that is, you've got one candidate, the incumbent, who's running for office, and two people who are pissed off at the incumbent. So they both sign up and run. And what happens is those two split the opposition vote, so the incumbent gets reelected. You've got Windows that's the elephant in the room. You try to bring in the challengers, and there are so many that the support is diluted. If the Linux community that really would like to see their product go mainstream, they absolutely would love to. If they would get together and focus on a marketing approach to putting something out there, and instead of saying, oh, no, you need to be using Mint, not LXLE, focus on, all right, we've chosen Ubuntu. Here's the distribution. We're going to all get behind it. I'm not going to stop working on Mint because it's my favorite, and if it's better for astrologists, but the fact is we're going to get this consumer product, because fact is, for what it is, in my opinion, the Linux is unquestionably the best operating system out there. It's just not the most user-friendly operating system. Even Apple agrees. I mean, Unix and Linux and Apple are based on Unix. So everybody, all challengers agree that Linux is better than Windows. Certainly is a whole lot more stable.
LXLE is actually based on Ubuntu. It just uses they use the LXLE desktop environment was what makes it different.
They make it lighter, and you can load it on machines that don't have as much.
It is a full functioning machine. They've got, if you want to listen to music, if you want to edit music, if you want to,
exactly the problem.
All that stuff is there.
This argument that we're having right now is exactly the problem. Everybody's
has their favorite thing. Yeah.
Well, and that's the problem. And the problem, and the thing is, the Linux community, it's a bunch of computer tech nerds.
Yep.
So everybody uses whatever one they use for one very specific reason. Oh, I do this, so that's why I use LXLE or Mint or damn small Linux or whatever it may be. In reality, it's
I settled on LXLE just because of the people that I was installing it for, so I could have a relatively simple, stable environment that looked cool, that people liked, and they didn't get all, I can't use this because it's too hard, or and probably a ton of, there's LXDE and DE and DX and Joe.
Yeah, let me ask this question. So Red Hat takes Linux and makes their money with enhancements and support.
Correct.
Is anyone doing that in the consumer field, where they've picked one distribution and signed up the programmers who want to contribute? There needs to be someone to coordinate the effort. Has anyone done that in the consumer field with Linux?
There is. I don't think so, because there is no central, headquarters, whatever you want to call it. It's all being run. Each distribution is run by its own admins and its own developers and its own rules and whatever. So
that's what makes it great, though. That's what makes it Linux. That's it.
Yeah, it's like the United States. There was no DC. Every state is on its own, so to speak. That's why they can do all this.
See, I'm of the opinion, and this could be the wrong mindset, but I'm of the opinion that if you start coordinating an effort, it's going to just turn into Windows. It's going to turn into, oh, we're doing this because we want to do it, because we've got the majority now, and the whole. Then it just turns into another big operating system group.
Yeah, but I know what Mike is talking about.
I understand what he's saying too.
Yeah.
I just think that's dangerous, because I think that's what's wrong with Windows, that Microsoft decides, oh, why would you need to pause updates on your computer? You have no reason to say you don't want to update, when the reality is, oh, it's going to break my RS-232 bar scanner every single time you do a damn update. But Windows doesn't care, and I think you'd run into the same issue in Linux if you had one group controlling, and obviously it wouldn't be one group controlling everything, but one main party. One main entity is the same thing. Oh, we're going to update this for this reason. Well, that doesn't work for me. Oh, well, you are SOL because we're doing it. So I don't.
Now I don't know what Brian is saying, he says Ubuntu will do everything your LXLE will do. It is just a different launcher. Is it just a different launcher? But
yeah, it's built on top. It's built on top of Ubuntu.
But what about the weight, the of the program,
a little lighter,
the OS itself? I thought
lighter.
Yeah.
For anybody that has never played with Linux before, Ubuntu is your best way to go to start, at least just to start and test the waters.
Nah, Gen 2 right away.
Yeah, there you go. Right off the bat. Compile your own. Just compile your own. Just make your own Linux. That's
the best one to start with is Disney Linux.
That's
It has all the favorite Disney characters leading you through it.
Oh, perfect.
That's very good.
That's why we're still on Windows.
Unrelated question. Are you guys noticing that it's taking longer and longer for websites to come up, or do I have a problem with my computer?
There's been an ongoing denial of service attack
against DNS
phenomenon happening in the last couple of weeks. Is
Yes,
that what you're going to say, Nick? Sorry.
Yeah, I've been at work. I mean, I load a website. Even doing Google search takes forever.
Gmail takes 10 seconds to update sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
Maybe 6 or 7, not 10.
I was going to say that the only thing that will slow it a little bit is the fact, I mean, HTTPS or SSL has to do an extra
handshake
and encryption. But with today's machines, it's happening really quick. But it's still slower than no SSL. So, but that's not 10 seconds. I mean, we're talking about split seconds here.
I typically browse Reddit on my phone at night and in the morning before I either go to bed or when I wake up. And even loading the front page of Reddit is incredibly slow sometimes.
There are conspiracy theorists that think that this slowdown is because of all the monitoring that's going on.
Yeah, well, it's actually, no, I know what it is. We're so stupid. This is net neutrality. This is it.
Oh, yeah, that's it. There you go.
It's finally happening.
Jesus.
Yep,
We're all screwed.
that's right.
I apologize. We should have known this.
Should have known.
Damn net neutrality.
I want to invent a PC that's got a gas pedal. So if I get throttled, I can just override it by stepping on the gas pedal.
All right, so talking about net neutrality.
My favorite topic.
The biggest lobby groups representing broadband providers will help the FCC defend the appeal of net neutrality rules in court. Ars Technica reports that last week, 3 trade groups that collectively represent every major home internet and mobile broadband provider in the U.S. filed motions to intervene in the case on behalf of the FCC. The motions for leave to intervene were filed by NCTA, the Internet and TV Association, CTIA, the Wireless Association, and U.S. Telecom, the Broadband Association. NCTA represent cable companies such as Comcast, Charter, Cox, and Altis, and all those names. Everybody's, all the big guys are in there. As interveners in the case, the groups will file briefs in support of the net neutrality repeal order and may play a role in oral arguments. NCTA's motion noted that its members would once again be subject to common carriage regulation under Title II of the Communication Act if the FCC were to lose the case. CTIA said it's, well, anyway, all that legal mumbo jumbo. The thing is, all these big guys lobbying and everything to do it, and Reddit still thinks that they can stop it.
Reddit's delusional.
It's amazing. Yeah, none of them want it. And of course, we can say, yeah, they have good reasons not to, but that's not the point. The point here is if they band together, there is no way to for the opposition to accomplish anything. Could they?
No, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. And there was something here that was interesting. No, that's not it. Microsoft has backtracked on a decision it took back in January when it conditioned that computers without a special registry key would not receive any more security updates. Remember that when they were talking about the antivirus? That particular requirement was introduced as part of the Meltdown Inspector patching process. At the time, Microsoft said that antivirus vendors would have to add a key to the Windows registry to signal that they are compatible with Microsoft's original Meltdown Inspector patches. This was a big issue at the time because Microsoft detected during testing that some antivirus vendors would inject code into parts of the kernel that the company was trying to patch against Meltdown Inspector flows. So they backtracked on it, and that no longer is the case.
Microsoft backtracking? No. They don't do that constantly.
Yeah. But they are fixing it.
Well,
They are fixing it in new processors.
Well, I'm glad. It's only been a bug for about 15 years.
They're saying they're starting with the Cascade Lake version of its Xeon server processors later this year. I mean, it's still not tomorrow. It's
Perfect.
later this year. Intel will incorporate protective walls in its hardware that prevent malicious hackers from using speculative execution techniques to steal private information from the secure part of the processor. So they're going to put like inside the processor firewalls, protective walls around each section, so they could not. That's I guess
How much that's going to affect performance?
Who knows? Maybe it won't.
I would hope it wouldn't, but you never know.
And Samsung, I mean, if anybody wants to talk, I mean, be my guest,
Be our
guys.
guest.
Just jump in. Samsung announced on Wednesday that it is partnering with Ubreak iFix
Yeah.
to bring same-day, in-person phone repairs to Galaxy device owners across the United States. Starting on March 15, Samsung customers will be able to bring their phones to any of more than 300 Ubreak iFix service location and have their devices repaired on the spot, and usually within 2 hours or less. Samsung plans to expand the program throughout 2018 as well. Galaxy owners will have the options to either schedule an appointment at Ubreak iFix location or just drop the phone off without calling ahead. Samsung has assured customers that all Ubreak iFix repairs centers will have genuine Samsung parts, proprietary Samsung tools for the repairs, and conduct repairs by Samsung certified professionals.
In all seriousness, that is a game changer right there.
Well,
The biggest issue and what really turned me off from Android, well, one of the things, there was a million, but one of the last straws was when, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember. I had a couple of issues with my phone. I had an issue with the phone, and the solution that AT&T gave to me was send my phone to Houston for 3 weeks, and then they would repair it. That was their solution to me. Now, that's not a solution for
No.
everybody. You can't go without a phone for 3 weeks. At least most people with their situation cannot. And you take, for example, if I had an issue with my phone today, I'd pack up and drive up to, where's the Apple store in Raleigh? It's near you, Amnon, isn't it?
there is one in Raleigh.
That's what I'm saying. That's the closest one. I'd pack up my
Yeah.
car, I'd drive up there 2 hours, and I'd be in an Apple store getting my phone fixed. And that is Samsung's biggest and Android's biggest issue is if you have an issue with your phone, It's not realistic to ask somebody to RMA a phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not realistic. Even with Apple, if they have to send your phone out, they'll give you a
loaner,
not a burner, but yeah, a loaner phone. They'll give you an older version, an older phone, and they'll have it set up for you to use until you get an actual repair. In most cases, they'll just give you a new phone on the spot.
Is that true for even if you're out of warranty?
I was out of warranty. I went back to the Apple Store 3 or 4 times and bitched enough that they eventually just gave me a brand new 6.
Interesting.
But I mean, I had to put on a sob story.
You have to lay on the floor and kick your feet.
No, but I did lie, and I felt really bad about it. But I needed a new phone. I mean, and it was the battery issue. The battery was draining itself within a matter of 2 hours, and we ran tests and we don't see anything. I said, but it keeps doing it. So eventually, I kept going back until I eventually got a rep that would just gave me a new phone, and they waived the $300 fee or whatever it was for the new phone.
All right, let's see. Who do we have online?
We have me,
Who is this?
Tommy Willis.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. How about you? I
I'm
need
fine,
some help.
Tommy. What's going on?
I bought one of those Chinese cameras, the IP PoE dingy, and I cannot get my computer to recognize it. I've thought about adjusting it with a hammer, but I don't have the right size hammer for this one.
Tommy,
I'm just wondering if you guys could point me in the direction of a article or something on the internet to where I can connect this camera without crying all the time.
I think the way that Nick, how did we have to do it? You have to use the app first and then on the PC, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Did you download their app?
Yeah, it's called CMS, I think it is. But it will not recognize the camera. And I know the camera's connected because I went into the what I call the DOS commands, video command, and listed all of my connections there, and it pulls up that IP address, which the extension, the last number is 10. So I know it's in there, and I know it's that far, but I just cannot get it to recognize it. Even the app won't recognize it.
I couldn't help you. But let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Did y'all call the manufacturer?
What, in China?
No, come on. I'm sure they have offices.
I'm sure they don't.
No, why?
No, this came from Amazon. I'm sorry, not Amazon, eBay. From China.
No, it's like buying from Alibaba.
It still had noodles on the box.
I would think that it would be the same thing for all these cameras.
Yeah, I've watched YouTube's, everything, read articles, but it could be that I'm not smart enough to do this.
Oh wait, actually, hold on. I might know what's going on here. The camera is connected via Ethernet or Wi-Fi?
It's IP camera. I've got it hooked in using a Cat 6 cable to my router.
How is the computer connected?
Same way.
Okay, because I've had an issue before where setting up a device, one was on my Amazon Fire TV when I was jailbreaking that. I had to use my laptop, which was on Wi-Fi, because for whatever reason, and the computer being on Ethernet would reach it. I don't know what the deal was with that. As long as they're on the same network, you should be able to.
That's what I would think too. Yeah. Now, and I would also think that the camera was bad, but with me doing I did a command called ARP-A, and it gave me a list of all the IP connections.
Yep.
And the camera was one of them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Spence has got a tool that will Angry IP. It's a little program that will tell you everything that's on your network. But if you see it on your network, you should be able to connect to it, I would think.
That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Well,
John?
I just
I've actually got a solution. Probably. I would download the app MIPC. And that app will allow you to connect to any IP camera, I think.
Wait a minute. What's that app again?
It's on the phone and it's on the computer. It's called MIPC. The icon is a blue cloud with a blue camera, and it's an app that I use for my security. Camera.
Okay. MIPC.
Yeah, I would give that a try. And if you have the IP address, which it sounds like you do, you can throw the IP address into this MIPC app, and there's a chance it will be able to pick it up and read it.
Have you got a pen I can borrow?
Hey, Tommy, are you reading the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some suggestions there. Does it ping? Try it from a different computer.
No, the camera does not ping, or that address does not ping.
No, then it's not really there.
Well, not necessarily.
ICMP might be turned off.
I doubt it. On a camera?
Oh, here we go. Now I just saw the link.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
the app that
this
Amnon
is,
I use
left-
for our camera.
This is, let's see, MIPC.
Sorry, what'd you say, Nick?
The MIPC is the one that you and I use for our camera, but it's a universal app. It'll work with.
Okay. Well,
something.
see, now, part of my problem is I see all of these people wanting you to download this app, but I don't trust them. I'm cynical.
I don't know. I mean, I don't trust this app either. I'm convinced.
But now this, from you guys, I will trust. Even though you do know I'm not Nissan, I will trust you about this and download it and see if that helps.
Yeah, and send the money to.
Trusting us is a fool's errand.
Oh, Tommy.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, and have a great day.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So how does MIPCM make money?
They don't. I don't know. They're recording everything you're doing.
I think what they do, they probably they make money from licensing it to some of those camera companies.
Oh, well, you think about it, that's a great way to go because they can just hand off all their issues to this guy, this outfit.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant in the first place, but again, it is what it is.
Well, it's that
Looks
time
like
of day.
11:01.
11:01.
Savings time.
Yep. So, any last words from anybody?
Don't believe it when somebody calls you that they've been arrested and you need to send money.
Where's Mike? He's working.
I'm right here.
Oh. Any words of wisdom?
From me, if I had words of wisdom, I would be offering them.
Okay. All right. Well, so I guess that's it for today. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mike, Spence, Nick, everybody in the chat. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And while you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tonight at 7, Nick Craig, that is, hosts Against the Norm on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7. And if you're not in Wilmington, you can always listen to it on TuneIn. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.